Hi, it's Teresa here. Welcome to another week of stamping with me. Today we're going to be sharing with you our new Brusho crystals, which is in our new occasions catalogue. These are actually just so amazing to work with, and I had a lot of fun on the weekend. I had my granddaughter Bella over. We did a video with her for her Bella's craft room, and also I've had a bit of a play by myself. But I'm going to bring down the camera so you can actually see me doing this tonight, because it's too hard holding it up. So I'm just going to bring the camera down so you can sort of see what I'm working on. I hope you've got a good view there. Okay, I've changed my location tonight because we've got that sun coming back in. But there's three types of paper that I love using the crystals on, and that is your watercolour paper, our glossy paper, and our shimmer paper, our shimmer white paper. So to start with, I'll just show you this is our mossy green one. They come in a little container like this. You need to use your piercing tool and pierce a hole in the top, just straight down like that, and yeah, just cap it with a little stabber that you can get, a little pin thing that you can get in the Officeworks or the newsagents. That will just stop the powder from falling out. It's better than opening the whole container because it stains everything. Okay, it won't come out. Once it's in, it's on, it's on. So the first thing I'm going to just share with you is just going to just spray our glossy paper. I hope you can see what I'm doing, and I hope you've got a good enough light. So I'm just spraying the glossy paper, and I'm just going to put some Brusho. I'm just going to flick a little bit of colour on, and you'll probably see the colour coming now. If you can't, just let me know. I'm going to try really hard to get down into light so that you can sort of see the colour. Hi Nerily. Oh, Narelle. Hello Narelle. Yeah, so we've got the yellow on there, and then I'm just going to bring in a little bit of the orangey gumbo one as well. So we're just going to pop a little bit on. Now just remember, this is very potent stuff, so you only need a little bit. And then you can sort of add a little bit more water to that. Now because this does take time to dry, I have actually made some up and let them dry so I can show you some other ideas. And then we're going to bring in a little bit of red, just a little bit, because it does spread really well. So you can sort of see that. I hope you can see that working. So you can sort of see that it runs around. So that's our glossy paper, and that's really good. Now if you've got too much on there, you can always come in with a tissue. It's actually better back here, isn't it? You can actually see it better. And you can just blot it a little bit to get the colour that you want. Now you can apply it a couple of times if you need to, just let it dry and then do it again. Okay, so this was on the watercolour paper earlier. I've let this one dry. It's turned out really lovely. So we've got the yellow and the orange, the I think it's called gumbo or gumbage. Yeah, in that one, and a little bit of the red. So that one's really nice. Now there's 10 different ways that you can actually use, or that I've come up with so far, of using the Brusho. And I like to use my templates from my Big Shot as well. So I always keep my little negative images because they always come in handy. So I'm just going to show you what I did with that. And I just actually used it directly as a paint. So I just sprayed a little bit of water on my block, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of the yellow on there, and a little bit of the green, mossy green, I'm just adding them onto my block, and I'm just going to use my aqua painter, and I'm going to bring this over so hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to mix the colours in. You can sort of see we're getting the yellow there, and I just come across just really randomly across on my card, which is really nice. And then I'm just going to add some green and just come down over here. And then you can just lift it and you'll have your watercolour effect on that. So I've made a card using that, and also I used the glossy paper which I had done on wet. So I sprayed it and then I brought in the yellow and the gumbo and that, so it was really lovely. So I've used our beautiful daisy punch and punched out of here. So what I did was punch one full one out, and then I just punched half ones out, and this is the card that I actually made, which is the leaves at the back. So I used the leaf template at the back, then I actually brought in the daisies and just stuck the half ones and some black ones in, and then the happy birthday. Also using our beautiful new I love these new centers. They're the gold, they're the face gems. They're absolutely beautiful. So I've used the face gem in the center and then a couple of small ones. You can get them in the two colors, so you can get them in the clear as well as the gold. But the gold just worked in beautiful on this card, and so that's one way you can do it. So that was my first little play on that. And then my second play was just bringing in some, I'm just going to wash my brush. Make sure you wash your brush if you're using your aqua painter in between doing it, because it will spread. So this time I'm going to add a little bit of yellow and blue and green. So I'm just going to add a little bit of yellow, a little bit of blue. I love it when people come on and watch, because yeah, it's just so nice. So please let your friends know that we're on here on a Thursday night, especially for people that live out of town that can't get to classes all the time. This is a really good way that you can still order and watch the video over and over again and redo it. So I just sprayed it on, and then I just used my aqua painter on this next card, and I just went across it like this to get the effect. Okay, so as you can see, it's wet, so you can't do anything until it dries, and I like to leave it overnight to dry. But I'll just show you what I actually made by using that effect. So the little card that I made out of this was this one here, and I did the background, and then I used our waterfront stamp set, which is just, oh, I just love it. And just used the not quite navy stamp, and yeah, just added that into the card over the Brusho, and it just worked beautiful. And I've used the watercolor paper here, and I've also used the square framelits, which is really nice. So that made a really beautiful little card. This is another one that I sort of started earlier today with the other piece that I had left over. So I cut them out in the framelits first, so I had two little card centers out of the one piece of paper, which was really lovely. So that was a really nice way of doing it. So I'm just going to quickly show you that, but I'm going to use a different colour. So I've got a yellow one here. I'm just going to move that over. I've got a yellow one here. And I'm just going to show you how quick this little stamp set is. It's just absolutely gorgeous to use with this background technique and the Brusho technique. So I'm just going to clean my block off. Okay, so you just pop your stamp down, whichever one you're going to use. I'm going to do it all in one colour. So when you're using just one colour, you've got to be a little bit mindful of what colour you're going to use, but I've got the Night of Navy there, so I'm going to use that because I've been using that virtually nearly all day. So we're just going to come in with our heels, so this is really good. So I hope you can see what I'm doing if I come back over here. So we're just going to come in on the card and just hold it for a few minutes. This is to go in because I'm on watercolour paper. And then we're going to sort of, I'll just come down a fraction so we get that mountain effect in there, which is really nice. Just going to take the stamp off. I'll clean them after. Okay, so then we're going to bring in the palm trees. And I like to bring my palm trees in first. So we're going to bring in some little palm trees down the bottom here. And then we're just going to match them up with the top of the little palm trees. Sorry, I've got so just going to bring them in here. And you can sort of see that they do line up, so you can just line them up. And it looks very effective on no matter what colour you're to do. It looks very effective. You can do it on any colour. Off the Brushos look great as a background. So it's just showing you how you can sort of build up a little bit here. And then I'm just going to show you, put in a little bit of a ground here. So we used all one colour, which is really easy to do. So you sort of can get the idea of how quick and easy it is to sort of bring in, cut this off, and make a great little picture out of the backgrounds. Okay, moving along. So that's using a stamp set and our background. Now the other thing that we can do is embossing. Now, like I said, I had Bella over for the weekend because she was doing some cards, and my granddaughter made these ones up as we videoed her. So I do hope to get her little video up on YouTube and on my Facebook page tonight sometime. I'm having a bit of trouble loading it up, so I'm just tried to have it on there already, but it's not happening yet. So this was really gorgeous. She did use the copper embossing powder, and this one she just used the ink. So you sort of can see the difference between using an embossing powder and just the ink. And she explains all about this in her little video, which is really good. And this one also she did as a little thank you one with the butterfly, and then she's going to show you how to paint the thank you, which was really beautiful too. So she's done a really lovely little job. And so anyone can do this. So I've actually on this one done white embossing, and it's a bit hard to sort of see, but that's what I've done. And I'm just going to clean my brush again, and I'm just going to come down with a little bit of the blue, and I've just sprinkled a little bit of blue on my block, and I've just added a little bit of water to it. So I'm just going to bring this in. You do have to be careful with this because they do shine up. So I'm just going to actually colour in between the embossed areas, which is the lavender one, which is a celebration one, which is really beautiful. And so this is the way I've just done it. I've just painted it on like this, which is really beautiful. But I'm just going to show you the card finished. So I did this one earlier, and you can sort of see it's really lovely the way you can sort of get these cards to go in. Hello Nerily Ross. It's lovely watching, having people come in and watch from all over the place, so I'm really excited that you're all tuning in. So this is the watercolour one that I've used with the Brusho on this. If you haven't come on at the beginning, you can always go back on my Facebook page and watch it, or you can go onto YouTube. I'm hoping to upload them all to YouTube as well. But they are in my video under Stamping with Teresa on my Facebook page as well. So that's a really gorgeous one. So far we've done the painting in between the emboss. We've also done our emboss ones, which is absolutely beautiful, which Annabella did this one. And then we've also done our background and our stamping over the top. Also, we've done our beautiful going through using the die cut images or the negatives and making a beautiful card out of that as well. So they're really beautiful techniques. Now the other thing that I really want to show you is another stamp that we've got, and this is on the glossy paper, and I stamped it earlier because you want it to actually dry. And I'm just going to pick up the aqua painter again and just go in with a little bit of blue, and I'm just going to come in over the top of the petals. You sort of can colour this and make it look quite interesting. So I'm just going to come in over the colour there. And then you can just change colours, and that's really nice. It really is easy to paint on the glossy paper. It really is really beautiful to paint on it. And this is one I did a little bit earlier. I don't know how well you can actually see the colours in that. But yeah, you can see the blues and the reds, and I really don't know if you can see it, but I'm going to hold it there. Hopefully you can see it. It really is beautiful. If you would like to have attend a Brusho class so that you can sort of see what we're doing, I do run them, and I do run private ones as well. So if you want to get some friends together and book me, you're welcome to have it at my house, or I'm happy to come, or I'm happy for you to come to my house is what I'm trying to say, sorry. Now this is one that I did on gloss paper, and I did the background, and then I had stamped first, let it dry, and then I did the Brusho on the back with the wet technique. Then once it was actually, while it was still wet, I rolled it. And I rolled it up to get the creases and the weather look, so it looks really rustic looking. And then you're going to sort of then come in with your paintbrush, and you're going to finish, your aqua painter I should say, and you're going to finish painting this up. Now if you get it on too thick, or you think it's too thick, just use a tissue, okay, and blot it off a little bit. So it's really easy, like I said, to colour on the glossy paper, and you can get a really old world look to the Brusho with the background. I love to bring the stamps in with them and colour over the background as well. It gives you a nice different look on the card. Okay, so we just quickly colour a little bit more in here, and you can sort of see that it really is really easy to do, and I don't know if you can see that, but it's a really old world type one. It's got the creases in it. It's like the old crackle effect. Does anyone remember seeing the old crackle effect? Well, it's like that. It gives it a really nice old feeling about it. So then you can sort of mount that up on a card, which is really nice as well. I had another play on the shimmer paper, and I don't know if you can see the shimmer paper, but this one I sort of did it on dry, and then just sprayed part of it and let the other part of the crystals just stay as crystals, and it gives it a very different effect. So I haven't worked out which stamps that I'm going to use on this one just yet, but I love the way it's come up. It's come up really beautiful. So it's really nice when you have different cards and that, and you can sort of play with them. Just make sure you do clean that Brusho completely, because it will stain. It will stain your clothes. That's why I've got old top on tonight. And it will stain your tables and things like that. So make sure you've got paper down. It's a really good idea. So once again, I'll just quickly go through what we did. First, we used our template and painted through it with our aqua painter. Now, there's other ways you can do it. You can use embossing powder, which I showed you that Bella did. You can use the salts, if you remember how to do the salt technique. You can use the wax crayon resist with the Brushos, which is using a white crayon and colouring in, stamping out a flower and then colouring it in. I looked everywhere for my crayon today and just couldn't find it, so I'm sorry I can't show you that. The clinging wrap technique is one that I did earlier with this one. Some people use the starch, and some people use a shaving cream, and you screw the glove wrap up and you put it over the top and you just leave it for it to dry, and then peel the glove wrap off, and you'll get all these lines. I just used the white shimmer paper and actually did it on here, and still got some really nice white crease lines through it. So not that, I don't know if you can see it on there, but it was really nice. So that's another way you can actually do it, is with the cling wrap. Just going to bring the cards back so you can sort of see what I did do today. We did this one, which is beautiful, with our punch and using our template. This one using our waterfront stamp set, which is really gorgeous. Bella doing the embossing with the copper emboss, which is really beautiful, and now using our beautiful day stamp set, which is on the same page as our Brushos on our occasions catalogue, which is page 26. And one of our celebration stamps is the this beautiful lavender, and yeah, I've painted that up with the Brushos today as well. Now, don't forget, I'm going to put this back to me. Don't forget the hostess code closes soon for January. So if you want to place an order with the January hostess code, it's TBAEM, and they're in capitals, 266. So TBAEM 266. And that's the hostess code for January, which is closing off on very shortly. So in the next few days. So then we'll open one up for February. Now, I did explain a little bit on the first what we were doing with the hostess code and the spending money. And the spending money is actually going to Ronald McDonald House. So if we get it $250 worth of products in different orders through different customers, then I'm actually going to put a nice little parcel, hopefully get a kit or something together and take them down to Ronald McDonald House through the year. So that would be what I would really like to do. So if you want to place an order, you can, and you're not sure how to do it online, go back and watch my first video. But if you really don't want to do it online, you can always just ring me, and I'm happy to put your order through for you. So that's something that I'm happy to do. So I really do love the way the celebration card turned out, and I am showing you the cards that I have been sharing with you tonight while I'm talking. This was the emboss one. Also, don't forget about our clearance rack, and you do need to go to Teresa Brown Stampin Up. That's my shop, and where you can actually see catalogues, and you can also see the clearance rack on there. The holiday favourites that have been brought over. We've still got a few that you can purchase if you missed out on them. And you can see all my classes on there too, which is really, really good. We've got a lot of classes coming up. Hopefully we'll have one coming up in Bensdale soon, so that'd be really lovely. And yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed seeing all the cards that we've made tonight. Now, unfortunately with Brusho, like I said, it's wet. When it's wet, you can't do anything with it. So I did do a lot earlier and had the cards made up to save time. Hi Carol, how are you? So it's nice for people to come on board and watch. Hoping to get to Benstone and catch up with all you ladies soon. Do miss you all. If there's another area where you would love me to come and do some Stamping Up with you, please, yeah, just give me a call. I'd love to come. Brusho is something that is in our little containers, brilliant red. Don't forget to pierce the top, put a pin in, and if you're not quite sure, they do have a little step-by-step here in our catalogue on how to also do them in the occasions catalogue, which is really lovely. So I'm really happy about that. Party getting bigger than expected. Thank you, Neroli. I don't mind. It's been ages since I've been up there. All I need to know is numbers when I'm coming along to do a party for you, and then I can have everyone's kits made up. So yeah, we're just about finished for tonight, but just going through, recapping through what you can actually use Brusho on. You can use it on wet paper, which is your watercolour paper, which is 100% cotton. You can get this in our annual catalogue. Our glossy paper, which you can also get through our annual catalogue, and also the shimmer paper. The shimmer paper is really beautiful too. Don't forget to order your papers, it's really good. The white cardstock and the very vanilla, I haven't yet tried it on that. I've only used the shimmer and the watercolour paper and the glossy paper, and I love using all three of them. Yeah, so once again, you can stamp images and colour them in, but make sure you let the ink dry before you actually colour them in, which is really nice. So that's another way you can do it. So that's just actually putting your Brusho onto a palette or onto a clear block and mixing a little bit of water and your aqua painter, and you can use it as a paint. Okay, so then you can paint it and bring it up. And then embossing and painting within the embossing, like I have on this one, where this one we actually did a background like this, and then we embossed over the top of it with the copper embossing powder. So you can sort of see that you get two different effects. This one I've actually done it in the white emboss, and it's a very effective little way of doing a card. So I'm happy that everyone comes. If you have anything that you'd like me to share with you, if there's any ideas you'd like me to share with you, please, yeah, send me a text or an email, or leave a comment on the bottom if there's something that you'd like to see, and I'll do my best to share it with you on a Thursday night between 7:30 and 8. Yeah, so we do have our classes back starting in February, so please make sure you jump on my Teresa Brown Stampin Up. Check out what classes are coming up if you'd like to book in. All my classes are $20. $5 goes back to the cancer for Ronald McDonald House, or for the cancer for Girls Night In, depending on which one I'm raising money for at the time. Our spending money for our hostess code, definitely going for Ronald McDonald House. I really want to take some pressies down to the kids when we go down there. If you want to donate any cards for us to take down, please put them together. I'd be happy to pick them up and take them down for you when I go down. I think June, I'm hoping May, June to go down to Ronald McDonald House. So yeah, if you've got some spare cards there that you would like the families to be able to use while they're in there, while their kids are sick and they can't get out to shop or buy a special get well card or a birthday card, we will be providing them for them so that they can just go and pick one. So please make sure you just put if you're using Stampin' Up, the angel policy on the back. Make sure that they're clean, they've got an envelope and they're in a cellophane bag. I really appreciate that. It's good night from me, and I hope you enjoyed watching a little bit about Brushos. Please book into a Brusho class or book me, and I'm happy to go through with you on a one-on-one or a group. So until next Thursday night, enjoy the heat. We're going to have a heat wave. Enjoy Australia Day, and we'll see you next Thursday.